What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making his debut on the channel tonight, we have Brian Eno. Yes, indeed. How about that? Brian Eno making his debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-boobidi bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Scraps to Selby Bowen. And Scraps wanted to see me react to this by Brian Eno called Third Uncle. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Open Vault, all one word, and the video has 372,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Brian Eno, Third Uncle, 1974. So we're going back a bit on this one. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Someone's been listening to Pink Floyd. Sounds to me like someone really likes Pink Floyd and David Bowie quite a bit. I'm getting those two flavors in particular. What's happening in the bass? I know everybody's going, oh, the bass parts are amazing. Nah, not really. It's literally, I think we're in C. No, we might be in C sharp, actually. So it's a C sharp minor ascension up to the fifth. So, you know, it'll be, in this case, it'd be C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then descending down to the F sharp to the E to the D sharp to the C sharp. That's all it is. Do 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 do. That's all it's doing. And then it's doing octave jumps. C sharp to C sharp, octave above. I am hearing every once in a while he'll, instead of hitting the octave, he'll do the flat 2 above the octave. So actually the flat 9 above. I hear that every once in a while, but it's very, very infrequent. And that's literally it. That's literally the bass part. That's it. I know it sounds way fancier than that. I know it does, but it's literally that. The chords, it's that C sharp down to the A minor, up to the C sharp minor, down to the A minor, up to the C sharp minor, and that's da 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 da. That's literally all it is. So if you're expecting me to sit here and go, oh, this is amazing. Oh, this is super impressive. No, it's not. No, it's not. I've been able to figure this out in less. It took me less than a minute to figure everything out. I mean, it's that easy. It's that simple. So I'm sorry. I'm not gonna make a mountain out of a molehill. I'm not. It's really easy, basic, simple stuff. It sounds good. I mean, it is flowing well. It doesn't sound bad, but it is sounding repetitive, if I'm being honest. And then the vocals came in, and he's doing his very best David Bowie impression, which is amazing. Anyway, let's get back into this, shall we? That Phrygian. Yeah, I've had enough. No, forget it. 7 seconds ain't worth it. I've had enough of this. This ridiculousness. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Brian Eno with Third Uncle. This was a request from Scraps to Selby Bowen. Yeah, brother. Whew. Okay. Let's just get to the score. Oh man. In the infamous words of Bob Barker.
Okay, let's put an end to this pathetic hoedown.
Okay. Let's just stick to the score and I'll explain everything. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's bad, but it's not as bad as you might think. I'm gonna give that a 3.2. Yeah, 3.2. Look, I don't take any pleasure in giving low scores, okay? I really don't. But at the same time, when the score is deserved, I'm absolutely going to give it the score it deserves. And yeah, it absolutely deserves that 3.2 without question. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, the 3.2, what does that mean? Well, it's not as bad as you might think. A 3.2 would equate out to a pretty bad scale rating. Yeah, it's bad, but it's not really bad. It's not horrible. It's not terrible. It's pretty bad. And yeah, it's definitely pretty bad. It would also equate out to 2 out of 5 stars and a D letter grade. D is in dog. Yeah, it's not an F. I mean, technically a D is still passing. So there you go, a 3.2, pretty bad scale rating, 2 out of 5 stars, and a D letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? Ha ha! So glad you asked. Oh, I think it says quite a bit when I get, there's less than 10 seconds in the song, and I just say, I'm done. I'm done, and I hit the stop button. I say, you know what? I really don't need to hear anymore. I already know exactly where I'm going to go with this. The first half was passable. The first half was stomachable. I was okay with the first half, if I'm being honest. We were in C, not C sharp. I was a little bit off there. We were in C. C minor, and the guitar progression went from C minor to G sharp minor to down to the minor 6, and then back up, and then back down, and then back up, and then back down, and then back up, and that's literally all it did. That was the guitar riff. That was the main chordal progression. Now the funny thing is, you had the bass going, and if I'm being 100% honest, the whole reason we did not go down into the 2s, and maybe even possibly the 1s, was because of what was happening in the bass. The bass was at least somewhat interesting. I like the use of the delay effect. Obviously, someone's a big fan of Pink Floyd. One of these days, utilizing that delay effect to reinforce what was happening within his notation, within his progression. And the bass player pretty much kept it pretty basic, but at least he was doing some pretty decent things. Only thing I didn't like about the bass was the fact that it didn't move from the C the whole time. It stayed on that C root. It never once went down to the G sharp. It stayed on the C the entire time. Now from the C, he did an ascending minor 5. So C, D, D sharp, F, G, and then back down, G, F, D sharp, D, C. Okay, well, I mean, that was nice movement because of the speed it was at. Do 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 do. It was that. And then the octave jumps that he was doing, C C C C C C C C C. Octaves, 1 8 1 8. He every once in a while he would throw the flat 9 in there, just kind of change things up a little bit. But that was all the bass player was doing. But at least it was better than what was happening throughout the rest of the song. The drums just stayed linear the entire time. Vocally, doing his best David Bowie impression, and I'm going to be honest with you folks, his David Bowie impression was not very good. I've heard better. It just was very, again, like the drums, very linear. This whole song just felt very linear for the first half. And then the second half happened. This is where the song, at least in my opinion, went completely off the rails. The guitar decided to go against what was happening within the bass. The bass suddenly decided to start moving. And the bass started moving from the C down to the G sharp, C down to the G sharp, C down to the G sharp. And if the guitar and the bass had worked together, I think that would have sounded better. But instead, the guitar player decided to throw a swerve, throw a monkey wrench into the gears and go, wherever the bass player goes, I'm going to be in the exact opposite spot. So while the bass player is on the C, the guitar player is on the G sharp. When the bassist moves down from the C to the G sharp, the guitarist moves up from the G sharp up to the C. So now we have two ships passing in the night, never making contact, never coming into port at the exact same time, moving against each other. Now here's the thing: if we were in major rather than minor, if we had been in C major moving down to G sharp major, it might have sounded better. I'm trying to picture it in my head, and I don't think I'm right about that, but it might have sounded better than the minor against the minor. Are you kidding? That's going to be nothing but pure dissonance. And it is exactly what it was. It was pure dissonance without any kind of resolution. It never resolved. I've said this time and time again because people have accused me, oh, DH just doesn't like dissonance. No, I like dissonance when it's used properly, when it's not overly used, and most importantly, as long as it resolves. At some point, we never had any type of resolution. It was just dissonance stacking on top of dissonance. And then the vocals came in under the guitar and bass. Almost like an afterthought. And the drums just stayed linear the whole time. And oh God, it was a train wreck. The second half was just an absolute train wreck. And like I said, the only reason we're not in the ones and twos right now is because of the bass playing. It was the only thing that was actually somewhat interesting. The rest of the song was just dreadful. I just was not a fan of this at all. And I'm sure there's going to be people out there who are going to go, this is the most amazing song they've ever heard in their life. Yeah, I'm sure it is. You need to get outside more, and you need to listen to some other music, because if this is the only song you've ever heard in your life, then yeah, you could probably say this is the most amazing song you've ever heard in your life, because it's the only one. Get out there. There's other songs, guys. There's other artists. There's other bands. I can make some recommendations if you want. I mean, I don't know. Start at the top of the alphabetical list and move your way down, I guess. I don't know. But in any case, this was absolutely not for me. This came off the rails at about the halfway point. And at that point, honestly, I listened until about the 3.5 minute mark. And at that point, if I'm being honest, folks, I was done. I was done at the 3.5 minute mark. I was absolutely ready to turn this off. I suffered through it for you, but I'm sorry, guys. Those last 7 seconds, no, unnecessary. I already knew exactly what I was going to say. So, 3.2. Like I said, it could be worse. It could be worse. We could be down in the ones or twos, but instead, I'm giving it the 3.2. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, the shiniest bow we could possibly find. We got a 3.2, which is a pretty bad scale rating, 2 out of 5 stars, and a D letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, that did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later, peace.